So Google is claiming that they're not going to bury your website down the search result pages. But that doesn't mean that if you type in something, a keyword, your website might not show up at all. The Daily Caller drops a bombshell accusation against Google. Exclusive documents detailing Google's news blacklist shows manual manipulation of special search results. Google does manipulate its search results manually, contrary to the company's official denials. Documents obtained exclusively by the Daily Caller indicate. Now, people have been saying this since the beginning. People have been saying this forever. So it'd be very, very interesting if the Daily Caller actually has proof to back up this claim. Two official policies dubbed the Misrepresentation Policy and the Good Neighbor Policy inform the company's XPA News Blacklist, which is maintained by Google's Trust and Safety team. Trust and Safety will be in charge of updating the blacklist as when there is a demand, reads one of the documents shared with the Daily Caller. Unfortunately, the Daily Caller does not actually provide the documents that they got leaked for everyone else to read, which I think really sucks, okay? Because we don't know what exactly the misrepresentation policy is. We don't know exactly what the good neighbor policy is. So it would be really helpful, and I'm really hoping that the Daily Caller in the future will actually print the documents they receive so everyone can see them, so we can really fully understand what they're talking about and what these policies actually are. The deceptive news domain Blacklist is going to be used by many search features to filter problematic sites that violate the good neighbor and misrepresentation policies. The document reads that it was approved by Gnomes, Nyack, and Hare as of 8/13/2018. Ben Gnomes is Google's head of search, who reports directly to CEO Sundar Pichai. Okay, so we know that this blacklist isn't some pet project by some random Google employee. No, this is a thing that's going on, and the CEO of Google knows about it. So that's really important. That's going to come up. That's really important. Because if you remember, the CEO of Google testified before Congress, and he specifically said that Google is not manually monkeying with the search results. So this would seem to imply that he's lying to some degree about that. Pandu Nayak is a Google fellow, and Paul Hare is a software engineer whose bio on Google's internal network MoMA indicates that he's involved in fringe ranking, not showing fake news, hate speech, conspiracy theories, or science medical history denial unless we're sure that's what the user wants. Now, this is how Google gives themselves cover, because they'll say, if you exactly search in that you want to look up something we label as a conspiracy theory or something that we label as fake news, if you exactly type that into the Google search, you'll find it. But, if you type something general, you're not going to find it. It's not going to show up. It's not going to be recommended to you unless you exactly quote type it in. It's like when YouTube puts a video into restrictive mode where it doesn't exactly violate their policies, but they still don't like it. So the video is not going to show up in a subscription feed. It's not going to show up in any recommendations. You can't see what the views, likes, or comments on it are. The only way to find the video is if you have a link for it, or type the name in directly, I think, into the YouTube search. So basically, YouTube has the ability to say, we don't really like your video, even though it doesn't violate our policies, so we're just going to put it in unlisted, or we're going to force your video into an unlisted mode. So that's kind of the problem with what Google's doing here. We're not going to show you quote-unquote fake news unless we're really sure that's what you want. Because, of course, someone at Google has to make the manual distinction about what is considered fake news. Perfect example of this. Scott Adams has been going on this journey, this quest to fix the fake news surrounding Trump's comments about Charlottesville. The fake news that Trump called the neo-Nazis very fine people, when Trump said there's very fine people on both sides and there's bad people on both sides, in regard to the Charlottesville rally. Now, if you actually read the quote that Trump put out, he very clearly says that he's not talking about the neo-Nazis. He was talking about the people who were just supporting the statue stay up and not be removed. He specifically says he's not talking about the neo-Nazis. He specifically says he denounces the neo-Nazis. Yet it's reported and misremembered by so many people as if Trump was talking about the neo-Nazis. So that's 100% fake news. And yet, if you type in Trump, Charlottesville, fine people, you're going to get all these search results claiming that he called the neo-Nazis fine people. So why isn't that blacklisted as a as fake news? Why isn't that blacklisted as a conspiracy theory? And the same thing goes with hate speech. If you have a site or a video or something that's against the idea of non-binary genders, is that considered hate speech? Is that considered transphobia? It's all a problem of who's making these distinctions about what's fake news, what's hate speech, what's conspiracy theory. So no, I don't trust Google to make these distinctions. I don't trust anyone really to make these distinctions. I want to make these distinctions myself. Maybe that's the solution here. Google should have an option where you can click and say, look, I want to make the distinctions myself. Just show me whatever. Just show me whatever naturally comes up in the search algorithm. Let someone choose between the organic search results and let someone choose between, Google's monkeying with the search results. Okay, let's just give us the choice. The purpose of the blacklist will be to bar the sites from surfacing any search feature or news product. It will not cause a demotion in the organic search results or de-index them altogether. Now, I know this seems really weird and confusing because it says it will bar the sites from surfacing in any search feature, but then it won't affect the organic search results. So it seems counterintuitive. But they explain what they're talking about. What that means is that the targeted sites will not be removed from the 10 blue links portion of the search results, but that the blacklist applies to most of the other search features like top news, videos, or the very sidebars that are returned as search results. Okay, so let me show you what they're talking about. For example, if you type in something like Google Blacklist and you search, the 10 blue link results, the organic search results that they're talking about, is this stuff. Are these blue links that show up when you generally search something? Okay, so Google's claiming that they don't change any of this. Even in the leaked memo, they're claiming they don't change any of this. So we're going to presume that that's true. If it's a leaked memo, I'm assuming they're not lying to themselves, but so they're claiming that they don't change any of this stuff. What they do change is this right here, where it says top stories. Okay, so if you get blacklisted, no matter what happens, you cannot show up in this top stories area, which is, it's prime area, prime real estate to show up in a search result. It also means you're not going to show up in the news section. Okay, if you get blacklisted, you're not going to show up in the news section, and you're not going to show up in the video section. So basically, any specialized section of Google, anything that's not just the normal search results, if you get blacklisted, you won't show up in those results whatsoever. But even then, I'm suspicious. I wonder if you type in conspiratorial things, quote-unquote fake news things, I wouldn't be surprised if they either don't show up in the normal results or they get downgraded, okay? So it gets buried on, page 10 of the results. In a section of the memo entitled Eligibility for the Good Neighbor Policy Enforcement, the type of search results impacted by the policy are described. Okay, so this is the requirements that you could possibly end up on the blacklist. If your product shows any of the following, shows content from users and news publishers. Okay. Well, first of all, I don't know what users means. I'm not sure what that means, but news publishers, so that means someone like me, anyone who's doing political stuff on YouTube can totally be eligible to be blacklisted because we talk about news stuff all the time. Output single answers, shows content owned, licensed, or edited by Google, perceived to come directly from Google. Now, this one's interesting because it makes me think this is Google's emergency brake button. For example, say the Daily Caller did post the leaked documents from Google. Google could claim, well, that's content owned and licensed by Google. We created that memo that got leaked to you. So we have the authority to just blacklist it and make it not show up in Google results. So I think that last one's kind of interesting. Now here's a question. Am I blacklisted from the Google search results? Because I do news content. So let's see. I'm gonna search Gamergate, see what happens. Let's look down. Okay, good. There I am. Okay. So that means, since my video shows up in the video result as the first result, mind you, that means that fortunately my main channel is not blacklisted. I don't know about this channel though, because every single video I've uploaded has become instantly demonetized. So maybe this channel is blacklisted, but at least my main channel is safe and sound. Focus on the users, said a source at Google who described the program to the caller. Users need to trust any content that Google shows them, whether it's the 10 blue links or other special search results. Now, this is where we get in the problem area. Google shouldn't be the one trying to figure out what information is real or not on the internet. All Google should be doing is showing you search results, showing you what's popular, showing you however the algorithm works, in an unbiased fashion. Okay, it's like the phone company. When you pick up the phone and you call a number, you don't want the phone company to say, oh, the person you're calling is really a secret neo-Nazi, so just be aware when you call them. Okay, we don't want the provider, the service provider, making these ideological distinctions for us, the user. Okay, it's up to the user to decide whether the information is true or not. The amount of fake information you can find on a Google search, I'm sure, is overwhelming. It's not up to Google, nor could Google even do it if they wanted to decide what is actually true or not. It's got to be up to the users to make that distinction. And also it says, the source said, whether it's to 10 blue links. So that implies that maybe Google either is or wants to in the future monkey around with even the quote-unquote organic search results. Sundar Pichai testified before the House Judicial Committee on December 11th of last year. Democrat California Rep. Zoe Lofgren asked why a search for the term idiot returned a photo of President Trump. In response, Pichai said, "This is working at scale. We don't manually intervene on any particular search result." Now, is he lying? I don't know. See, this is a problem. It's all a matter of interpretation, because then he'll say, well, I'm not lying. I was only talking about the organic search results. I was only talking about the 10 blue links. We don't touch any of that. That's all I was referring to. Okay, so I'm assuming that's the kind of disingenuous cover that Google and Pichai would give themselves, confronted with this leaked memo, and the fact that he basically lied to Congress. I would say it's a lie. I would say that telling a half-truth, especially a half-truth to Congress, is a lie. But that's just me. A memo about the deceptive news blacklist was also obtained by the caller, showing its last edit is December 3rd, 2018, a week before Pichai's congressional testimony. This document, which describes the process by which a site can be blacklisted for deceptive news, clearly shows that there is a manual component. Yes, yes, yes. Pichai lied. Hey, there's a nice little rhyme there. The Lie by Pichai. On the blacklist are a number of conservative sites, including Gateway Pundit, Matt Walsh's blog, Gary North's blog, TeaPartyEconomist.com, Caroline Glick's website, Conservative Tribune, a property of the Western Journal, and the website of the American Spectator. Now again, this really does annoy me that the Daily Caller didn't actually print what they received, didn't actually print the leaked documents they received. Because I want to see all the sites that are blacklisted. Is it just conservative sites? Or are there also like random conspiracy theory sites that have no, political leanings whatsoever? Are there also Antifa sites that are blacklisted? Are there also like far left communist sites that are blacklisted? I don't know. I want to know this information. So it is kind of ironic in a way. It is kind of ironic, and I will call out the Daily Caller for this, that they're complaining about Google's secret blacklist, and yet the Daily Caller has the information and they won't publish it themselves either. So Daily Caller is keeping the secret of the blacklist for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some legal thing. Maybe they'll get sued by Google or something. I don't know. But it is ironic, in my opinion, that the Daily Caller is not showing everyone the exact leaked information they received. Maybe they will in the future. Maybe they're just setting this up, okay? They want to kind of get more clicks, so they're going to release this story first, and then tomorrow, maybe they'll show the whole memo. I don't know. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping the Daily Caller will come through and provide all the documentation. Otherwise, I will call them out as being hypocrites. Google spokesman provided the following statement to Daily Caller after the story was published. "We do not manually determine the order of any search results, nor do our algorithms or policies attempt to make any judgment on the political leanings of a website." Okay, so that's chock full of weasel words right there. Because they say we do not manually determine the order of any search results. So how do they define search results? Again, are they only talking about the 10 blue links? But it's actually worse than that, because she just says we do not manually determine the order of any search results. Okay, so what does that mean? So Google is claiming that they're not going to bury your website down the search result page. But that doesn't mean that if you type in something, a keyword, your website might not show up at all. Okay, because that's not the order. For example, if the Daily Caller does release the full leaked memos and the full documents they get, Google could make it so that you type into the search bar, Google leaked documents. It won't show up. It will not show up in even the top 10 blue link organic results. It won't show up. And they would still be telling the truth technically, because they're not determining the order. If you type in something to search it and it just doesn't show up, well, they're not determining the order. They're just making it not show up in the first place. So they're technically leaving this huge wiggle room with this weasel words, because they could set it up so that you can search something and it won't even show up in the organic search results. They're not determining the order if your thing doesn't just show up at all. So that's super, super big red flag to me. That's a super big red flag to me. And when they say, oh, our algorithms don't attempt to make any judgment on the political leanings, it's like, okay, we all know that's BS, because it's like, oh, well, yeah, we're not going after conservatives. We're going after what we consider to be, hate speech or fake news. I'm doing finger quotes to myself. I know you can't see them, but I'm doing finger quotes to myself. So this doesn't look good at all. This seems like it's something that will only get worse, unfortunately. I hope not. Maybe there'll be a come to the light moment and Google will turn around. I'm not optimistic, but we'll see. But I really hope the Daily Caller will just release the actual information, the actual leaked memos and the blacklist, so we can see them for ourselves. So Daily Caller, release the memos. But beyond that, good job getting this scoop.